Herod Antipas smiled and nodded with approval. His stepdaughter, most traditions call her Salome, swayed and twirled in front of him and his birthday party guests, and her graceful figure filled them with longing. And when her performance had ended, Herod and the guests applauded, and inflamed by his senses and the mood of the moment, Herod cries out to his stepdaughter, "Ask me what you want, up to half of my kingdom, and it will be yours." And he swore a great oath to confirm this promise. You see, as a tetrarch, and that's what Herod Antipas was. Tetrarch simply means that he ruled over 1/4 of a Roman province. As a tetrarch, Herod was more than able to provide a handsome gift, even by first century standards. And so the question is, what would Salome ask for? Would she ask for a jeweled necklace? Would she ask for a dowry? Would she ask for a house in the region? Herod and the guests waited to hear her request. The girl herself hesitated, uncertain as what to ask for, and so she has a conversation. She whispers with her mother. Down in the dungeons of Herod's fortress, a fortress named Macarius, a man's fate was about to be decided. His name was John the Baptist. He was under lock and key in one of those gloomy cells in this fortress. The cause, the place, the reason he was there, he had rebuked Herod for stealing another man's wife, Herodias, Salome's mom. This woman had been married to Herod's quiet half-brother Philip, and Herodias was furious and convinced Herod to arrest John. And Herod was only too willing, because he was suspicious of the large crowd that John was attracting. However, once Herod got John in lockup, he would talk to him on a regular basis. In fact, he talked to him for quite some time, and he found out that he really liked the guy. Now, he didn't understand what John was saying about holiness. He certainly didn't appreciate what John was saying about salvation, but it seemed to be something he should hear, and so instead of executing John right off the bat, he gives him visitation privileges. In fact, execution would have been a bad idea for Herod anyway, because John had a lot of followers. Why make them mad? Why risk rebellion, which would have angered Herod's superiors in Rome? Salome, back to our story, approaches Herod. Evidently, she has made up her mind. The guest and the king turn to hear what she would ask for. And here's what she says: "Give me now the head of John the Baptist on a platter." Even that reckless, hardened crew of people that had gathered at Herod's house must have drawn sharp breaths at that gruesome request. How quickly that indulgent mood must have melted. I wonder, did Herod's face change? I mean, here was a king used to crazy demands, awkward demands. Here's a king used to thinking of people as object, used to beheading men at a whim. And it never occurred to him to say to this little girl, "Listen, an incorruptible prophet like John the Baptist is worth more than my whole kingdom. Ask for something else." But he doesn't do that. Looking around at his guests, he sees only one option. If he's going to save face in front of this crowd, he's got to fulfill his promise. And so he orders John's execution. His disciples come and they bury his body. Some traditions say that his remains ultimately were taken to Alexandria in Egypt and placed in a specially built church. But when John's cousin, Jesus, heard the news, it hit him as hard as it would have hit any of us. And he tries to get away by himself for a time. Because John, we know, was the one who had preached Christ's coming. He was the one who had prepared for his messianic ministry. And now he was needlessly dead in the prime of his life. This is the story that we're going to be spending a great deal of time talking about this Sunday at the Beltline Church of Christ. I hope that you'll join us as we look at what could have been, as we look at some amazing lessons that we learn from this section of Scripture. So come and be a part of it, whether online or in person, what we're doing here at the Beltline Church of Christ. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. And until then, may God bless you as you strive to live for Him.